Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty, along with
John Cena Sr. What's that?
trying to see if Margot's somewhere back there.
Margot is gone. Yeah. She said, Margot, bye, Margot. I see you later. Bye, I see you.
Well, I know they say, I believe in French, oui is yes. I'm not sure what no is. Might be no.
Fucking no is no.
A brand new Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Friday is up next. Wrestling fans, can you feel it? The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest explodes into December. We can't bring you a live wrestling event in 2020, but we're bringing you a plethora of live interviews and virtual autograph signings to continue the tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home. This Friday night, December 4th, fresh off of his appearance at The Undertaker's final farewell at Survivor Series, we'll be joined by Savio Vega. On Saturday afternoon, December the 5th, former WWF and WCW Tag Team Champions, the Nasty Boys, will be live in studio. Sunday night, December 6th, during NXT TakeOver War Games, it's WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas's Cyber Christmas Party. If that wasn't enough, big things are happening next week. Friday, December the 11th, we'll be joined by the Massive Warlord. On Saturday, December the 12th, Native American Tatanka joins us in studio for the very first time. Then on Sunday, December 13th, it's a doubleheader of Future Stars Superstars is the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann returns to the studio for the first time in 8 years, along with up-and-comer Wheeler Yuta, who recently competed in the Ring of Honor Pure title tournament, along with competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF. John Cena Sr. will also have a live episode and is working the phone lines with the North Pole to try and make this year's toy drive even bigger. Individual autographs and an all-inclusive VIP package is available online now. If you order your signed photos before or during the live appearances, the superstars will sign them on the air, mailed directly to your home. If you want a VIP package but miss some of the superstars live, don't worry. They signed enough photos and posters for us to ship to you by December the 19th. If that wasn't enough, we're working on items for our annual mega raffle, where one lucky fan will walk away with a huge jackpot of prizes, all to benefit the toy drive and honor the memory of the late great Paul Bearer, who created this toy drive with myself and John Cena Sr. in 2012. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com to get your orders in now. Let's create smiles in 2020.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Friday Nights. Fox, SmackDown, they're done for the night, but we're just starting up, John, and we always have a good time on Friday night at 10 p.m. here at MWF Studios.
Late night.
Late? Now, well, you'd have to talk to Margot about just how late those nights go.
Hey, fans, need a Christmas...
Who are those bad boys out, baby?
How about a pair of Johnny Fabulous socks? Great Christmas gift. If you're interested, just text bostonwrestling.com and let Dan Marty know, and we'll see what we can do about getting you a pair for Christmas.
Now, do you think Margot has a pair of panties with your face on?
Wow. Holy moly. All righty. Mr. Atlas, you were right.
Unbelievable. They said she looks kind of like the French Ruth Bader Ginsburg of professional wrestling. So Margot has found a second career later in life. I admire the woman.
Very good.
To become, find celebrityhood at her age. I think that's nice.
Yep, I haven't found that.
Well, maybe they need you back on Total Bellas.
Now that's another story for another time.
All right, Johnny. Folks have been emailing us left and right with all kinds of thoughts about AEW. I know it is a show that when you catch it, you enjoy it. I don't know if I'd call you an AEW fanatic, but there's things about the product that you've come to like.
I do like AEW. I do very much. Whenever I have a chance, my schedule doesn't permit me to watch a lot of wrestling shows anymore. I try to catch WWE. I try to catch AEW, New Japan Pro. I'll tell you that AEW has produced a product that I think has brought us back to the old days of wrestling. There are some storylines in there, but even they now are starting to go a little bit too far. A lot of blood, a lot of...
I love the blood. That makes it realistic to me.
Vicious Dan Marotti. Vicious Dan.
That's what makes it real? The blood doesn't enhance the realism to you?
You know,
I find that more realistic than having Orange Cassidy put his hands in his pockets and do kicks. I mean, not for nothing. I find the blood to be a little bit more realistic than Hot Pockets.
Wow.
But am I right or wrong, though, Johnny?
You know
in your opinion?
In my opinion means nothing, but my opinion is simply this.
It means something to me.
There is a time and a place for everything. And I don't think you need as much as what's being done. I think some of these matches now, even in WWE, New Japan Pro, they're really going to the extreme. To the extreme. However, I do like AEW's product. I think that Tony Khan is really onto something. I think if he continues with the way he's going to go, everybody predicted he wouldn't last longer than 90 days. He's fooled them all. And he's fooled them all because of the quality of the product and the storylines.
A lot of hard work by those people. I really don't know many people in AEW, but you know what? Anyone that goes out week after week and puts forth the effort that it takes to produce a show like that, I have all the respect in the world for them. Whether personally I think they're great people, maybe I don't like them, I don't know. I really don't know anyone in the AEW offices like I do everybody down at Titan Towers in Connecticut. But Tony, almost maybe a ceasefire around the holiday times. Cody is now legally able to be Cody Rhodes again. I think it was very petty that he wasn't allowed to be called Cody Rhodes, where he is the son of the plumber, so to speak. But in return for that, it appears that Cody has decided to drop his attempt to capture some of the old WCW pay-per-view names that WWE bought with the sale of the company back in 2001. Your thoughts on Cody becoming Cody Rhodes again?
Business is business. If I own the name, which I did, WWE owned the name, it's called protection. And it's no different than you coming up with a car and me trying to steal your label. He is who he is. The unfortunate part about this business, and I always say this to people, when John Cena retires, who owns the name and how long will the contract go on? How do you take a birthright name and say, I own that? I think you own the character.
Right. They own mannerisms.
They own the character.
Quotes.
Right. But I
likenesses.
don't...
they can't own someone's legal name. But Cody Rhodes wasn't Cody's legal name, so that was the quandary that he found himself in.
Well, I understand that.
He's Cody
Vince McMahon was smart,
right,
because it was a character name that Vince trademarked and owned.
You know what, to me, that one, I understand 99.9% of them. Whoa, sorry, Tony. If WWE is going to go to the length to create these characters, market these characters, merchandise these characters, present these characters on these multi-million-dollar television shoots, then by all right, they have to protect their assets. But at the same time, he was Dusty Rhodes' son.
Makes no difference, brother. Business is business.
I think that one was a low blow.
I don't care if he's the son of Donald Trump or the son of Joseph Biden, which guy's a little questionable right now. But I'm just saying, it makes no difference. The fact is, I have an investment. My job is to protect that investment. I have nothing against WWE for what they did or why he did it. Plus, he would enforce it even more because you're my competition. And I know they'll be saying, well, it's not our intention to compete. Don't give me that.
We know the reality of the
stupidity is
situation.
stupidity.
Yeah.
I'm stupid, but not that stupid.
You were born at night, but not last night.
That's right. I didn't fall off the turnip truck because I like cabbage. So it's like, hang on. I just think that Vince made the right decision. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But the fact of the matter is, you signed it, you live with it. When it expires, we'll talk about it. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, in the same light, I have to say I disagree with Cody. And again, you're going to imagine your response may be business is business. But I don't. you know what? I know Cody has this obsession with things that his father created, and you know what? If my father created certain things, I may want them too. But at the end of the day, Dusty Rhodes was paid by Jim Crockett or WCW, whichever event was created at the time, to come up with these concepts. He was paid to do it. He didn't do it for free and give it away as goodwill. But for Cody to go out and try and, like the Bash at the Beach name that was used by AEW earlier this year, that went along in the sale when WWE bought WCW back in 2001. And I think Cody really opened some eyes and probably angered some people when he went to try and obtain these, what WWE thought were their assets. I don't think that helped the cause by him going after the old pay-per-view names.
Business is business, and I'm not being wise when I say that. Cody Rhodes was after something, a legacy. A legacy. It's unfortunate they were after things that we can't have. I don't know who his attorneys are, but attorneys will always take a case, regardless whether it's win or lose, because they get paid.
They get the payday.
Yeah, they really don't give a damn. So I think that somebody should have been astute enough to research it before we filed it. You know, I don't mind spending money, and I'm sure you don't either, but you want to get what you pay for. You want to get what you pay for. And so I think for you to try to go after a legacy that's been purchased, I think that's pretty impossible to get. Even though you're blood related, it just isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. And I would think if anybody understands that, it would be Cody Rhodes because of the extent of the involvement that his father had in all these promotions.
I just think it came off petty, not being able to let the man use the Rhodes name when he is a Rhodes. He's part of that family. But that's one man's opinion. I understand business is business. Would it have hurt WWE to let him become Cody Rhodes? I don't think so. Is Cody Rhodes all that more valuable to AEW now that he can go by Cody Rhodes instead of Cody? I don't think so. I think you were pissing on the man's heritage more than anything. But again, that's my opinion.
All I got to say is this. He came out as Cody, didn't he? Anybody who is into pro wrestling would know the character is Cody Rhodes. He had enough exposure in WWE so that people knew who he was. He just wanted the last name for whatever reason. If that's his real last name, then he wanted his heritage. Unfortunately, it gets involved in business.
Well, I will say this. I think it's a lesson to any superstar out there of name value in 2020 that if you have children that you may want to have an involvement in wrestling at any time, book the child on an independent wrestling event so they can always say prior usage before going to any major league company.
Smart move.
And then you never run into that problem.
You know what? I have a good friend, Chrissy Perillo, who does action figures. And their company had my friend The Fiend, before he went to WWE, they started producing figures, and also Kevin Owens, before he went to WWE. He was notified and told by legal from WWE, I believe, they had to stop production. They produced documentation and said, this was done before they were with you. Therefore, and they had to back down.
I think with Kevin Owens, at least, it was produced under his former name of Kevin Steen.
Steen, correct.
Right. They weren't producing the WWE name,
no,
at least.
They're just doing the
figure,
character,
right.
which they didn't want. Character, no character, didn't want. As a matter of fact, they even produced the Johnny Fabulous.
Where is it?
I'll bring it in.
I don't want a prototype. I want them released to the mass market.
No, it's in.
But I don't want. I'm not talking about one. I want thousands produced.
I think, and my son hates me for this.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. I think they should have done a dual pack when I was involved.
I've said that for years.
With Orton, they should have been a dual pack of Cena Sr. and John Cena Jr. I think that would have been a multi-million dollar deal and sold a lot of action figures. And I'm not bragging, believe me, because I know my place. As The Rock would say, I know my role.
I certainly would not say anything derogatory about your son, but they released a lot of repetitive, bland action figures of John over the years. I think if they had a two-pack of you and him together, I think it would have spiced up the line a little bit, in one man's opinion.
But they did do an action figure of me. I'll bring it in.
I would like to see it.
I'll bring it in for the fans. It's not the best, but it certainly is a fabulous figure. I had, I think, 20. I have one left.
Can the fans buy them?
If we get enough orders, I'll have some put together.
What would the suggested retail price on the figure be?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to talk to my friend, but I wouldn't think it'd be more than $15.
Even Tony, I'm sure he could use a new figure.
Do it.
Marty, we could do everybody here in MWF.
We'll do Tony Atlas and Johnny Fabulous.
Tony could come with an accessory of some fried chicken from tomorrow on as he eats during
Moving
the
right
show.
along, folks. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
They said it
Here
looked
we-
like the back end of a lawnmower when Tony eats the fried chicken and the chicken wings on our show.
Right on the show he's
He
eating?
eats them right on the show. He has no...
What a great guy. I'm telling you. I don't care what you say.
He's ready to talk, whether he's eating, whether he's relaxing, whether he's on the phone. He'll talk until the cows come home. But I'll say this, there's been times, even at the social distance that you and I are at, I've been hit by residue. I've been hit by chicken wing residue all the way over here when Tony's talking. And if you could only see my inner grimace as the piece of the chicken wing hits my face.
He likes chicken wings.
You know what his favorite kind of chicken wing is?
What is that?
A free one.
Well, hey fans, it's been a great night.
All right,
this is me,
wrestling
John
fans.
Cena Sr., with my partner, Dan Marotti, saying, be good, be great, see you next week.
Back to the world of AEW, Johnny. Away from the world of chicken wings, rhymes with chicken wing. What do you think about a man that's been rumored to perhaps make an appearance in AEW to lead to bigger things? Not Wing, but Sting. Do you think the ship has sailed on Sting?
Wow.
In
Chicken wings to
wrestling,
Sing to Bella. You know what? I think that Sting's time has passed. I really do. Nothing against him. Tremendous athlete. I met him in California at WrestleMania. I can't say enough good things about this man. And I mean that from my heart. I truly do. But I think that it's too old a character to bring back. I really do. I don't think it would work.
5 years now since his last match, believe it or not.
It just is, even the wow factor would be gone if he came out. It would just be like, you'd be better off getting a Phil Brooks if you could get him to make a pop there. Somebody who's recently been released that'll give you that wow factor. As great as Sting was, I think all the charisma, I think everything that he's done in the past is a great legacy. I think it would be an injustice to him and the fans to turn around and try to get that one last pop. I don't think it's there.
You don't think he maybe even just one or two appearances, maybe a surprise, maybe even having him in the I know they're big on trying to replicate a War Games type match where Sting had a legacy in War Games, maybe have him as the man that opens and shuts the cage door when each participant enters. You don't think even in a non-wrestling capacity they could find a use for Sting that the fans would enjoy?
Okay, I'll back up if you like, and I'll say this. Only if it's a 15,000 person live event.
You need the people.
And you bring them in. It's like this. We just talked about WWE. You didn't know John Cena Sr. was going to be here tonight. Kayfabe with everybody. He comes out, gets his ass kicked by Randy Orton. If that happened, that would give him the pop that he needs. Anything beyond that, I don't think it's there.
Well, long term or on a regular basis, no, I don't think they need that. I think now the interesting things are being done medically nowadays. Perhaps there are these stem cells and things. I know a lot of the guys are going to Mexico to try and rejuvenate themselves physically with their necks that have been destroyed. Maybe there's a way for Sting to get healthy enough to compete in one more match. I would think he'd want that big WWE payday over in Saudi Arabia when they go back, but I don't know.
He's not going over, is he?
No one's going over right now.
No, it'd be very foolish. My whole thing is this. I think that you have to realize that your time has come and gone. Like I said, full arena, don't know he's coming down, have him come right down that string, drop in the ring with a baseball bat, whack, he's the enforcer, there's the pop.
Think of the pop that would get.
It's no holds barred. No holds barred, no disqualification. The one thing they would never expect would be to see that crow come down from that. That's a great pop. Once.
Yeah.
Once. Then it's over. Unless you work him into a one more time. Look, it's very. How old is he now?
Oh my gosh, he's got to be pushed very close to 60. I believe he's older than Undertaker by a couple of years.
So, you know what? Why push the envelope? Why go out embarrassed? You can't go out.
Exactly.
You know, my whole thing has always been.
And I think that's, and I hate to say it, I think that's what's happened to Undertaker a few times.
Yeah, if you can't go out 100%, then don't go out.
Yeah.
Don't go out. Anyway, that's just my take.
All right, Johnny, AEW, as we noted, a lot of people predicted doom and gloom for this company. They thought it was going to be a spectacular failure. Well, and in the end, before the first year was even up, TNT renewed AEW for several years on the TNT network, along with another program that's going to be coming sooner than later, I believe. AEW certainly has to be happy with what they've done so far, but something that Tony Khan said in a recent interview opened some eyes is they have to try and come up with some ways to get some new eyeballs. The AEW, as well as it's done, has never been able to hit the TV ratings it hit the first 2 episodes when it premiered in October of 2019. Obviously, and I don't think any television show can be disappointed that with the buzz from a season premiere, that you see that decline in week 2 and week 3. Usually most shows you see settle in between around week 4 to week 6. And I think that's can be said for AEW. That's generally a show you'll see somewhere between 750 to 900,000 fans most weeks. You had a few that have been a little higher. You've had a few that have tanked and have gone a little lower, but that's pretty much the average. So AEW trying to go out of the box, trying to go the celebrity route, which worked for WWF back in the mid-'80s with Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper for the first WrestleMania, and then which really set the business on fire to a whole new level on cable television in 1998 with Mike Tyson. We now have AEW trying to go the celebrity route. A few months ago, in what was going to be a pay-per-view match that fell apart due to a boxing match that's going to be forthcoming, Chris Jericho and Mike Tyson. And now there is apparently going to be in the works a match or some kind of an angle between Cody Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. So the one thing I can say
David and Goliath.
The one thing I can say about WWE is, at least in the 80s, they weren't going after celebrities from the 60s. It's been a while since Shaq and Mike Tyson have seen their prime. Do you think, A, is the celebrity route the way to go to try and get some new eyeballs? B, is Shaq and Mike Tyson, 90s retro legends, the way to go?
You know, entertainment is entertainment. But I think what you have to realize is the fans are not idiots. I don't know what you're laughing at, but the fact of the matter is, you know, some things just don't work. And Cody Rhodes against Shaquille O'Neal, if Shaquille O'Neal can't wipe him out with one swoop of his hand and do a slam dunk, it just doesn't make any sense.
Do you think for Shaq's legacy, he's better off with the Papa John's commercials at this point?
Papa John's make a lot of money right now. They're going to open some more stores.
Have you ever had Papa John's?
No.
Don't.
I've never had Papa John's pizza. Not interested in Papa John's pizza. Johnny
I don't even know if there were any up this way, but down when we used to have the house in Florida, there was one not too far away, and I'd never had it. I tried it once and never again.
No, that's like Red Lobster.
I like the biscuits, though.
You can get the mix right at the store.
What do you mean you can get the mix?
You get the mix from Red Lobster free.
They sell Red Lobster biscuit mix?
Yeah, the cheese biscuits.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
At the supermarket?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just may have made me a very happy man.
See that? There you go.
You think Linda will cook me these biscuits?
I think she will. Anybody can cook them.
She certainly won't.
She won't? She won't?
No. She has the capability to, but would she is the question. No.
I'm sure she will. If
Really?
you asked her nicely.
You know what?
Instead of that Dan Marati, cupcake and biscuits. No, Dan, no.
You know, I am going to send Linda this video to show her that John Cena Sr. believes in her enough that she has the giant heart in her chest, has it in her to make me Red Lobster biscuits from the comfort of her own home.
I've met her. She's a very kind, generous person.
You were the other night in Nashua when she threw the till box at me, yeah.
Only bad thing is she missed. So, Linda, one bad thing. Anyway, back to Shaquille O'Neal and
Back to
celebrities.
Shaq.
I think if you're going to get celebrities, I think you got to get celebrities who are current.
Someone from this century, maybe.
Yeah, well, but get somebody who people are going to want to see involved in something that you want to sell and make money with. And you know what? I'm going to be right up front. I think you're wasting your money until you get fans in the arena. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'll pick it up here, I'll pick it up there. It's so boring not to have that fan reaction. I don't care what anybody says. That makes the show. It ain't there. It ain't there, folks. I don't care what you do. You can bleed all over the canvas. You can fall from the sky. It just isn't there. Because that pop is not there. That wow factor, the boos, the cheers, it's all gone. It's dead silence.
You know, as a WWE stockholder, it almost pains me to say it, but I think AEW has done a better job with the ambiance than WWE has,
Absolutely
at least
correct.
initially. They never had a show when it was just dead silence with no fans.
Right.
They always had, whether it be, independent guys or undercard enhancement guys or guys not on the show, girls not on the show out at ringside applauding.
Right.
They were the first to open up to live fans, where I believe they let up to 750 fans.
Well, they're having some shows now. The tickets are on sale now.
Yeah, I think they're allowed, or they'll
Coming
cap
to
it at
Massachusetts? Are they coming to Massachusetts?
They're booked for Massachusetts a couple of weeks after WrestleMania.
Where?
What the heck is the name of it? Aganis Arena in Boston, where they were before.
Oh, I might be interested.
Well, we'll have to go. I'll say this, cordial enough. I had a very good time when they were here in Boston.
Well, I think they're a very good product. I mean,
Well, I don't think it's a perfect product
Vince
yet,
has
but
got
you know
an
what?
excellent product.
There are some things about AEW each week. This is how I usually leave it. There are some things about the one or two killer segments, and I'm like, wow, that was great. And then there's some stuff that I just, whether it's the hokiness of it or it's just maybe talent that isn't primetime ready, that doesn't look like it belongs on national television. But for those that do want to nitpick and attack them, you have to remember this. WWE is a company with a legacy that goes all the way back to Jess McMahon in the 1930s. AEW is still virtually almost like the Red Lobster biscuits we were talking about. They're almost starting from scratch with what they're doing right now.
Exactly right.
Are there going to be mistakes along the learning curve? Absolutely.
Yep.
Has it been a perfect product? Absolutely not.
No.
Has it been an enjoyable product? Has it been an alternative for fans that might not want to watch WWE? Absolutely. And I think anyone that is too negative on AEW for the things they don't like, they should consider the fact that they might not. There could be a world right now where they don't have that alternative. There could be a world right now where all of these people that are making a full-time income don't have a job.
Only one furniture store, yep.
Exactly. I think it's a great thing that AEW exists. I think it's a great thing that AEW exists to make mistakes, because you know what? I think anyone that's any good is only going to learn from the mistakes they make.
I agree.
I think we have.
Tony Khan has said, I got a lot more surprises.
Are you going to be one of the surprises? You and Margot.
If Margot go, Fabo don't go.
Well, I tell you this, there is a woman in AEW that has been very interested in, when I say hooking up, I'm not talking about the physical romantic way, but hooking up with you maybe on a business level, Vicki Guerrero.
You know what, I just have to say this. I think she is a tremendous, wonderful human being. Every time I see her at autograph signings, when I'm doing signings, this lady is nothing short of fabulous, and I really mean that. She truly loves the business. She loves what she does, and I'm going to say it. I've said it 1,000 times. She and Paul Heyman have proved how to be heel managers, without a doubt. Paul Heyman, the best. I got to tell you, I said it before to your face. You said thank you. I really appreciate the thank you, but I thank you. And Vicki Guerrero, you proved being who you were by what you did as that manager, that GM, not even saying one word. You got booed when you came through the curtains. The young people today should learn from Paul Heyman, should learn from Vicki Guerrero. You should learn from Bobby the Brain Heenan, God rest his soul, all the greats. But I'll tell you what, Vicki, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to know you.
Well, I'd love to see her back here in Boston Wrestling in the future. Johnny, I don't know, before Survivor Series last Sunday, did you have a chance to check out Vicki's shoot in this studio?
I did not.
Hopefully you will, because I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll take a look at that.
You remember the last time we attempted to have a female here in the studio, and, well, this went much better than that.
Oh, I do remember
much better than that.
Iron Sheik was here.
And I'm not talking about
Von Johnson was
I'm not
here.
talking about our dear friend Deborah McMichael, a lovely, classy lady.
Yes, she
First
is.
class lady.
Yes, she is.
We're talking about the gum on the bottom of the shoe, who we won't even name.
I remember
And that's a
that.
compliment.
I vividly remember. I very vividly remember that.
See how much better I'm getting, Johnny. Now, you
Yes.
know there's a part of me that would love to say the things that I think about
Yes, you
that
would,
human
and you
being.
don't do it. That's good.
But you want to know what I think you'll laugh
here
at?
it
I'll
comes.
share. No. I'll share this story. I told this story, everything that happened, without naming the person, to Deborah when she came in, and she knew who it was, without me even saying it. So what does that tell you about the individual in question?
My reputation precedes me.
As you like to say, amen. Well, again, Johnny, AEW, it's year 2. Do you think that they're wise to keep the traditional WWF pay-per-view schedule of 4 big events per year? Or do you think maybe now is the time to try and increase the revenue and maybe go to a monthly pay-per-view format? Go up to 12, or maybe 6, and then jump to 12. Maybe increase them.
I think 6 is a good number. I think WWE is overdoing it.
Well,
You know what? Yeah, that's just, it's too much now. It really is too much. And I think they're finding out by the buy rates. I think they're finding out by the fan reactions. This is nothing more than a glorified Raw or a SmackDown. They're not pay-per-views. There's no surprises. I used to wait for those to come because there was always that wow factor, that surprise that you never could see coming. It's all over. It's not there. And I think that's by having too much of a good thing, you get sick of eating ice cream or steak or mashed potatoes. And that's exactly the way I look at it.
even for I'd say, to me, the pay-per-view, quote-unquote, era of WWF ended probably in late 01, 02, when they started the WCW invasion, which is what led to them not using me anymore with Ed Cohen in the live events department. But I certainly won't cry and have my feelings hurt about that 19 years later. But
Bitter, man.
I just think that it got to the point right around that time when, okay, these aren't special anymore. I used to look forward to the pay-per-view every month, not quite as much as I did the monthly house show at the Boston Garden, being able to experience that live with those animals that would go in to see those shows. But to be able to, a lot of the times during the more popular eras of wrestling, you know, I had my friends, oh, you getting the pay-per-view? I want to come over and watch, and blah, 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 blah. I can't tell you the last time someone asked me if I was going to order a pay-per-view and if they wanted to come and watch it. I think, and I'll say this, as far as AEW goes, I think they have captured that young male fan base, the 18 to 34 that everyone's always going after, and you do see a few more pay-per-view parties pop up nowadays. So I think AEW has been successful in at least making the pay-per-views feel special. And you know what else I like about the AEW shows more than anything is that they're not on Sunday night. They're on Saturday night.
That's right.
Saturday night is a night to me that feels more like a celebratory night.
Beer,
it feels
pizza,
like a
party.
Exactly.
Yep, there
On
you go.
Sunday night, you know, to the Catholics of the world, I guess it's a religious day. People got to go to bed. They got to get up for school Monday morning. They got to go back to work.
Whoa. Let's not single out the
All right,
Catholics.
let's hear this now. All right.
No. All Christians, Sunday
I'm sorry.
is a day to reflect on. Just like Jews, Saturday. Let's not leave
I
anybody.
didn't even know that.
The Sabbath is Saturday. So
But
let's.
I didn't know that Saturday was their day of reflection.
Well, just see.
I never knew that.
Before you get religiously
All right.
involved.
All right.
I
I've crossed the line, I guess, Johnny.
Don't do that.
Unintentionally, I
and
hope
it's got
you know.
nothing to do with church because most Christians are very open and liberal to what they see and what they do. It doesn't mean we don't abide by what we see and do. It just means that I would have said Sunday nights is kind of tough because it's work day the next day. Kids have to go to school. Now they've got to get them ready for this virtual school stuff. So it's not a good night. Saturday is a night that everybody can enjoy. Young men and young women are getting together for that soda pop party with Fabo Pop. You're getting together with your friends with your
I don't
Miller
have any
beer,
friends.
Corona beer, a pizza, whatever.
And I don't drink beer.
Well, you know, I'm
Vodka, I don't mind. But
well, there you go. See,
and I'll say this, also on a Saturday night, you're not, even if you do have the proverbial pay-per-view party on a Sunday night, you're in a rush to leave as soon as it's over. You got to go. On
It's
a
almost
Saturday
midnight.
night, you
gotta
can
get
hang out. You can
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah.
I think that's why UFC part of the reasons why their pay-per-views, while certainly not the success they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I think that's why they've, other than some of their bigger events, I'm not a UFC aficionado, so don't shoot me those that are, but the UFC, the brand, is not as popular as it was
No, it's lost its appeal.
10, 15 years
It's
ago.
lost its appeal.
But they still have successful big pay-per-view events because I think in part of, maybe even those that aren't as familiar with the fighters, everybody likes to get together as a group of friends, have fun, have something to eat, drink, and be merry, have something cool on in the background to watch. And I think AEW has done a great job at doing that.
Because they're not oversaturating the product. And that's what McMahon or WWE has done. They've oversaturated the product. And people are saying, whoa, enough. Give me quality. Give me less, but give me more.
I can't think of the last time WWF did a Saturday night pay-per-view. I know someone will correct me, but if I recall, I think the last one would have been Royal Rumble 1994 in Providence.
Yeah, but they haven't been
That they did a Saturday night pay-per-view.
It's all Sunday nights.
Now, I don't have Wikipedia. I don't have Google. I'm using my brain. And there's a lot going on in this brain with the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive going on, which you can support all of these great cyber autograph signings over at bostonwrestling.com as we aim to update Santa Claus's GPS, create smiles, and honor the memory of the late, great Paul Bearer. But I don't have a computer built into me. But as far as Saturday night pay-per-views go, that's the last one I can think of was Royal Rumble 94. If that means anything to you.
No.
It was in Providence, and it was the first time The Undertaker died. And he levitated out of the casket to the top of the Providence Civic Center, which was kind of cool.
Wow, nice.
It was one of the first supernatural type things they ever tried to do. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how they managed, from a realistic point of view, but after 10 heels put Undertaker in the casket, all of a sudden a video camera came on inside the casket to record the Undertaker's thoughts. And then Undertaker levitated out of the
whole body,
the old version of the Titantron to the top of the arena. And I'll say this, it was pretty cool.
The whole body? Was
the whole body,
What is a CGI effect?
He said, you will, no, it was an actual,
You think Mark actually did that?
No, he was in the casket.
Yeah.
The person that was levitated, they had the hat on and they had the coat on. So I think it was Steve Lombardi, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was a cool effect if you ever come across Royal Rumble 1994, and it was something that left you saying, how often does this happen now? Wow, I wonder what's going to happen next.
That's what's missing.
I want to watch what's going to happen next. That was the same night, if you remember, where they did Brett and Luger were the co-winners of the Rumble, where they fell out of the ring at the same time. So you had Undertaker die, and you had Luger and Brett as co-winners. Jeez, and it was Saturday night, not Sunday night, with Raw the next night, so you had 2 days of buzz headed into Raw trying to figure out what the heck is going to happen leading into the beginning of then the road to WrestleMania 10.
Well, you answered my question. What's missing in professional wrestling? You see, you just said it.
Maybe
the wow factor is there.
Surprises can be tough because there aren't all that many superstars and legends that aren't under contract anymore. But the thing is, even if you don't have that surprise factor, you can still be creative enough to create a wow factor. And that's what we miss each week.
When fans can sit there and predict the ending of the match and the ending of the show, we are definitely in trouble. So you know what? Maybe AEW, New Japan, WWE, all the other promotions, maybe you ought to sit back and look at some of your old tapes. Get some great ideas.
Johnny, don't even get me going because I'll go off on a tangent. I don't understand how at a time when WWE is in such peril when it comes to their ratings and popularity metrics across the board, when they own their own network and they have access to their own library, why aren't they looking at things from the 80s and saying that there are things from the 80s we could take and modernize into 2020 and make successful?
No idea.
Why don't they go back to the Attitude Era in the Monday Night Wars and say there are things from the 90s we can take and pick from, modernize so it's not old, modernize it for 2020.
Update it, the words update.
You want to know what blows my mind? You want to know what blows my mind?
Speechless.
Johnny, you want to know what blows my mind? Here's the thing. Vince McMahon has 3 grandsons in the age range they're looking to draw from. I don't know if it's ever happened, and you never know, I wouldn't want to hurt my grandfather's feelings. But why not sit the kids down and say, watch a pay-per-view with them. What do you like about this? What do you not like about this? That is the age bracket they're looking to draw from. Shane McMahon came out with his 3 sons at WrestleMania 32, so that was 4 years ago. So you're probably talking about kids aging from maybe 10 to 15 or 16. That fan base is gone compared to what it used to be, and they want them back. So why not? And I don't know if Vince McMahon's grandsons are the answer to the problem, but I mean, I'd be interested to know what the McMahon grandchildren think of the product. It might hurt Grandpa's feelings a little bit, but maybe Grandpa needs to hear it in order to enhance what he's doing.
I think Grandpa's got a thick enough skin, believe me when I tell you, thick enough skin to at least accept constructive, and I use that word, Vince, nothing but respect. Constructive criticism, ears are always open. The deal of just mouthing to mouth off, both ears are closed and you're out the door. So, you know what? And maybe those kids have no interest in the business. Maybe they don't even watch the show. So I would think that the worst thing you could do was ask family to criticize because you never get an honest answer. So I think the best thing you can do if you really want to know what the fans feel is to ask the fans, do some type of poll. But then every poll they ever did was rigged. So you talk about a rigged election.
Well, you know, sometimes kids don't have that filter that the adult might, you know.
Well, when you're talking 10 to 15-year bracket, you got to get another Rock, a Cena, or an Austin. That's the only way it's going to work, my friend. Outside of that, it's just not there. Take a look at the talent. Take a look at the writing. The writing does nothing to help the situation. So I don't know. We'll see what happens from here. But they really should go back and look at their own libraries, get some great ideas, and let's get back to where we were.
Like I said, it's going to be something that is time-consuming to get back on track, to get those numbers up again. Instead of looking for, let's come up with this crazy, over-the-top scenario like Retribution. I hate to bury poor Retribution, but it was a hotshot idea. They said, maybe this will garner some interest. And then in 2 weeks, look what it turned into. Complete and utter garbage.
No offense.
They came up with Raw Underground. I don't know if you saw the shoot fighting segments. They thought that might hotshot it.
Horrible.
Where is Raw Underground now?
Horrible. Gone.
The one solution that no one wants to look at are the 2 Ps that I mentioned to you before. Pacing and patience. And it takes time. But they don't want to give it that time.
Well, a lot of it's hard for the guys in the ring and the ladies in the ring because there's no audience. Reaction helps. You know, and I look at some of the characters. You may think the Vikings are great. I think they don't have a place.
They really watered that down when they brought it to the main roster.
That's right. It's horrible. It's horrible.
I hate to say it.
NXT, great. Let me tell you, I was a believer. That was good. Todd Hansen, good friend of yours and mine.
Yeah.
We worked with him. I said, wow. Then it gets to the top of the mountain. Wow.
You hate to say it, but and I believe this with what I'd put my hand on a Bible. The best thing that happened to him right now was to have that neck injury.
To get out, yeah.
Just get away from it right now, because hopefully it's never going to get any worse than it is right now.
I would expect that team to be broken up, if not phased out completely. Contracts ended.
You think
There's no draw.
No pun intended, they'd axe the Viking Raiders.
No draw.
You know, I think what I would do with Todd is, and I have said this to him, I said, instead of this most tag teams in WWE, as we've seen the past 20 years, go absolutely nowhere as a tag team. They split up and they find successful singles. I don't see much in Todd's partner, but could you see Todd as maybe a modernized version of someone like Mick Foley?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
A brawler, kind of lovable in a way. Yeah.
Yep. Cut it down a little bit. Change the persona. Definitely. Good point. I could see that. I really could. But what they've done now, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing left to write for.
You know how you knew it was getting bad? They started doing the comedy skits with the Viking Raiders and the
not good.
Street Profits playing miniature golf and basketball. Then they tried to turn Ivar, we'll call him for the fans that don't know him by Todd. They tried to turn him into a pimp, where him and Angel Gaza were fighting over this reality TV woman, and that's just, I don't know how they sit in these meetings.
Whose brain is coming up with this crap?
I don't know.
It sounds like Paul Heyman.
It pains me.
I hate to knock on Paul, but
I think he might have been gone by that point.
Really?
Yeah.
Heyman?
Yeah.
So he's not writing anymore. He's still with
No,
WWE.
he's still with WWE. Yeah, he's Roman's on-air manager, and he
Right.
handles the creative for Brock.
Right. That's it.
But he doesn't. He's not the executive producer of Raw anymore.
But his ideas are still accepted.
I don't know if they'd say no, but he's just. I read an interesting interview with him. He said something along the lines of when him and Vince came to the agreement for him to take that job, he said he wanted to do it as long as Vince McMahon woke up in the morning and said to God he's happy to have Paul Heyman doing the job. And apparently Vince got to the point where he wasn't waking up and thanking God for Paul Heyman. So instead of it turning into a nasty split, which Vince and Paul Heyman have had many of over the years, it was from what I was told by people there, very, very cordial, and it's a great working relationship now. So they handled it the right way, almost like you and I sometimes. They learned from some of their past battles, and they handled it the right way. And now everybody's happy, and they still have that relationship ongoing every week.
I like Paul Heyman.
I think he's great. And I think he's a great creative mind. I'll tell you this, I would like to see him book one of the WWE shows without Vince as the filter.
Never going to happen, so
It
don't
will
hold your
never
breath.
happen, but I would love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Make a wish.
Oh, no.
It's Christmas.
Well, you know what? It is Christmas time, but
I know Santa. You might get your wish.
Tony.
I like chicken wings.
Oh, I didn't get hit with any residue on the cheek. But I'll say this, Johnny, my great wish for Christmas is that more fans decide to take part in our pallbearer, Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, Cyber Fanfest endeavor. We still have so many more great live appearances in this studio. Savio Vega's coming Friday, December the 4th, a great longtime friend of The Undertaker and pallbearer. The Nasty Boys are going to be here on Saturday, December the 5th.
Good lineup.
Tony Atlas is going to be hosting a Cyber Christmas party during NXT TakeOver on Sunday, December 6th.
Wow.
Friday the 11th, we have the Warlord, one of the strongest men in the history of wrestling. On December the 12th, we have Native American Tatanka. Sunday, December the 13th, we look to the future of wrestling, an athlete that's competed here in the MWF. He was in the Ring of Honor Pure title tournament recently, Wheeler Yuta, as well as a man, Johnny, that you and I kind of went to bat for after his internet scandal broke. The new Impact Wrestling World Champion, Rich Swann, is going to be joining us in studio for the first time in 8 years.
Wow.
And Rich appreciated it very much when he was made out to be the villain of whatever year that was. He had the reported online incident with his girlfriend at the time at a red light, but we're not going to go there. I'm just happy Rich is in a good place now. It's a shame that his WWE career didn't go on longer than it should have, but it is what it is. Right now, he's on top of the world in Impact. And Impact is an improving company.
Well, remember what I said. Sometimes the result looks devastating when really it's an opportunity. So look back and say, you know what? It's a learning process. I've learned, and I'm in a place now where I feel I really belonged. So, you know what? Never take situations like that and make them, what's the word I want to use? Failure? Take a look at them as an opportunity. Look where he is. Look where he's at.
And the fans want to know, Johnny, you said in one of the previous episodes you wanted to take part in the toy drive as well. We have not calculated the date yet for your live autograph signing, and I know you've been on the horn with someone from the very, very northern part of the universe. I don't want to name names.
I have.
I don't want to name names.
Don't have to.
Someone
Andy Wong.
Andy Wong. Well, you know what? That is kind of at a peak on Route 1.
I tell you, I have the greatest respect for the Wong family. Matter of fact, when I'm done, I've got to rush out today. I have to rush out. I might just rush to the Kowloon and then rush where I've got to go. I can't.
So you're in a big rush, but you're going to stop and have lunch.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to stop. Takeout.
Oh, takeout.
I'll
Okay.
call
All
before
right.
I. Yeah, I'll
well,
call
all right.
on the way.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah, I'll call before when I leave. I have that thing in my car. I'll call, order what I want, and just zip in and zip out. Boy, I'll tell you,
Cecil the Lion has on the hoodie. It's a nice looking hoodie that he's got on today. For
Cecil's a great guy. You couldn't do this stuff without him. Back up, take a look, stop getting people upset, be a nice guy. It's Christmas, Mr. Grinch.
Well, just ask Kaufman's cheddar cheese, but that's a different story.
You may not get your PlayStation 5. I'm going to talk to my friend in the North Pole.
All right, well, believe me, I could use all the help I could get about that. But the Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, we have cyber signings through at least December the 13th. Even if you miss some, you can still get the VIP packages, because when Leo Rush was here, when Marty Jannetty was here, they signed the posters, they signed enough pictures for us to fill those VIP packages through mid-December. I'd like to say, Johnny, as long as a fan orders by December 19th, we can get it to them in time for Christmas.
There you go.
Is that a fair time frame?
I think that's tremendous.
All right. Well, we look forward to having you back here in studio, Johnny, live. You and I have never had a live shoot.
No, we haven't.
Well, that'll be interesting.
A live shoot would be very interesting.
The fans, they don't see the laugh sometimes, and sometimes the hate that go on behind the scenes depending upon the year.
That's
that
right.
could be a lot of fun. But for my good friend, Mr. John Cena Sr., we wrap up another week, a holiday week. I messed up the days from last week's episode. This is actually Thanksgiving weekend. I hope the Cenas had a very nice holiday.
Tremendous. It was tremendous. Together with some friends. Obviously, one of my sons stopped by. Two stopped by with my granddaughter. The other one is busy. The other one is in New York. It's not a time to travel now. So let's just hope.
What about the fifth one?
Everything changes. My young son, Sean.
You said two stopped by. One was busy. One was in New York. But that's
Dan
four.
and Sean would stop by.
Yeah.
Matt is going to spend Thanksgiving at the house. That's number 4. John is obviously shooting. And will not be
okay.
around. Yep, John will
Well,
not
you
be
shoot
around.
every Friday, brother.
I do.
And according to Margot, even more often than that.
Moniz, I'm sorry, Moniz. It's all about him.
She's really glad she didn't come this time.
Brooklyn, New York will never be the same. Nor will Jersey. If Dan Marotti was there, they'd be with the fishes. Marotti, I know.
All right, wrestling fans, again, check up on all the great content. We have 4 in-studio weekly talk shows now. Tuesday nights at 10 with Tony Atlas. Wednesday night with Leo Rush at 10 o'clock after AEW and NXT go off the air. Thursday night, we party with Marty, and we never know what to expect with that. Murder confessions and more. And then we wrap it up for a fabulous Friday. For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. Stay safe out there this weekend. The holiday weekends can be kind of nuts. If you're going Black Friday shopping, if you're going to see friends and family, try to social distance if you can. And again, as I said last time, none of that drinking and driving, Johnny.
No, wear a mask and go to a bank, right?
Almost killed this man. And I know maybe you might not have minded that, but for the good people of the world, you would.
No, never drink and drive.
Never,
ever.
Ever. All right, wrestling fans, we'll see you next Friday night. Good night.
Wrestling fans, can you feel it? The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest explodes into December. We can't bring you a live wrestling event in 2020, but we're bringing you a plethora of live interviews and virtual autograph signings to continue the tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home. This Friday night, December 4th, fresh off of his appearance at The Undertaker's final farewell at Survivor Series, we'll be joined by Savio Vega. On Saturday afternoon, December the 5th, former WWF and WCW Tag Team Champions, the Nasty Boys, will be live in studio. Sunday night, December 6th, during NXT TakeOver War Games, it's WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas's Cyber Christmas Party. If that wasn't enough, big things are happening next week. Friday, December the 11th, we'll be joined by the Massive Warlord. On Saturday, December the 12th, Native American Tatanka joins us in studio for the very first time. Then on Sunday, December 13th, it's a doubleheader of Future Stars Superstars is the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann returns to the studio for the first time in 8 years, along with up-and-comer Wheeler Yuta, who recently competed in the Ring of Honor Pure title tournament, along with competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF. John Cena Sr. will also have a live episode and is working the phone lines with the North Pole to try and make this year's toy drive even bigger. Individual autographs and an all-inclusive VIP package is available online now. If you order your signed photos before or during the live appearances, the superstars will sign them on the air, mailed directly to your home. If you want a VIP package but miss some of the superstars live, don't worry. They signed enough photos and posters for us to ship to you by December the 19th. If that wasn't enough, we're working on items for our annual mega raffle, where one lucky fan will walk away with a huge jackpot of prizes, all to benefit the toy drive and honor the memory of the late great Paul Bearer, who created this toy drive with myself and John Cena Sr. in 2012. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to get your orders in now. Let's create smiles in 2020.